love potatoes, so let's plant some. So here I have my seed potatoes I got from a local nursery, and if they're small, like this one, you don't have to do anything. We're gonna plant this one when the time comes. But if they're bigger, like these guys, what we can do is cut them into sections no smaller than 1.5 inches, and you wanna make sure that it has about 2 to 3 eyes wherever you cut. A potato, eyes, huh? Well, come closer and look. You can see on this potato, we have these growths coming out. We call those eyes of the potato. Basically, there are auxiliary buds of the potato that will grow into new plants. So you want to make sure each section you cut has at least 2 or 3, which will give that section the best chance for survival. You can do it with one, but why stretch it? Potatoes are cheap enough. And on this one, I could probably get it in 4 different seed chunks. So the little ones can be planted right in, but the ones that we cut, we have to do that a few days beforehand, and that will let that cut or the open wound heal up before we put it into the soil. If we cut it right now and go put it in soil and water it, it's all exposed, the flesh is exposed, it's wet and moist, and disease can get in. So let me show you. I'm gonna take this one, and you're gonna wanna use a nice sharp knife, but not serrated. You don't want a serrated knife, you want a regular knife. And I'm gonna line it up so that it has the most, and I'm just gonna cut right down. I'm gonna flip it over on the side. Now this one has 3, so I'm gonna leave it alone. And as big as this potato is, it only has 3, so I'm gonna leave that alone. Now when you look at this one, you can see, even though it's a smaller potato, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I'll be able to get 2 out of this one, and I'm gonna cut it right down the middle. So on this one, you can see, how do I cut this? Well, I wanna do it the least intrusive way. So instead of trying to cut it through these and possibly damaging one, I'm just gonna cut it down here where there aren't any into 2 pieces. And then you have your cut potato. Like I said, what I'm gonna do is put this back into the paper bag, and I'm gonna leave it for a couple days and put it in a dark spot. I'm just gonna let these wounds heal up, scab up, and then we'll go planting in a couple days. So let's get out there. Okay, so we've cut our seed potatoes and we've let them cure for at least 3 days. Now we're ready to plant. So I'm gonna be doing mine in containers, but the same principle applies in the ground or in your raised bed. So here I have about 20-inch wide containers, about a foot deep. What I did is I'm gonna fill them with about 4 to 6 inches of potting mix. So you can see the pot's not even close to full, but I'll get to that. So you wanna dump about 4 to 6 inches in. Then I'm gonna take my osmocote, my time-released fertilizer, follow the directions on the bag, and I'm gonna sprinkle it on the surface, nice and even. Now that you have your osmocote in, you wanna take your hands and you just kinda wanna dig them in and mix those granules up. Get them all throughout the soil column so they're not all bunched together. That can cause damage. Just gonna mix it up. I'm growing 3 varieties of potatoes, Kennebec, Superior, and Yukon Gold. But for the most part, the principle applies for all varieties of potatoes. Now that I got my osmocote mixed in, my 3 varieties, we'll start with Kennebec. Here I have my cut seed potatoes with the eyes. And what you're gonna wanna do is just place them even distance apart, giving them enough space from the edges in the middle. And wherever they have these eyes that we talked about, you can already see they're setting up growth points. You want those facing up. So you would think you would put this like this. It might still grow, but you're gonna wanna place it just like this. And I basically squished the potato about halfway in the existing mix. Now after you have that, you're gonna take some more potting mix and you're just gonna cover them very lightly. Now if you live in a southern climate, you can go up to about 3 inches, maybe even 4 above it. A northern, cooler climate, the less soil, the better. So I'm in New England, southern New England, so I'm probably gonna go about 2 inches above the potato. So there you have it. I've covered my potatoes. Now I'm gonna water them and you'll start to see those shoots. They're already started, so it's not going to take long. You'll start to see those shoots within a week probably break the surface of the soil. Now the reason we set them down and didn't fill this up is because we want to plant ahead to hill the potatoes. I'm sure you've heard that term, why do I do it, why do you do it? Well, when you hill a potato, you're basically letting the plant grow to 8 inches or so, and then you're covering 4 inches with soil around the vegetative growth that was above the ground. And what that does is when a potato plant gets buried in soil, those stems and leaves, they become roots and will actually grow more potatoes. So you're increasing your yield by hilling your potato because you're encouraging more root growth and thus more potato growth. So that's why we do this. I leave enough room where once this plant grows, I can hill it. And depending on if you're doing a raised bed, you might even be able to hill it a few times because you're going to have much more soil to work with than I am in this container. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions. Potatoes are one of the funnest, easiest things to grow. So if you have kids, give it a whirl. And I'll see you next time.